There she is.
Good morning. Happy, what's today? Thursday. Okay. We got total body strength today. I decided to have fun. We're spelling out splash. So it's a splash week. Especially since I will not be teaching at 12 today. I want to see splash again. So, we do need at least one set of dumbbells. I would recommend two today because I would like us to go a little bit heavier with certain movements, but other movements we might not be able to do that. So I do recommend two sets. I actually did remember to grab two for myself today. So there we go. And then we're going to do 3 rounds. We're going to do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest / transition time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with demos real quick. So we're going to start off with our first S. We're going to do some goblet squats. We're going to do 3 seconds down. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart here. Dumbbell underneath the chin, coming down 1, 2, 3. Push the ground away and stand back up. So that's going to be our first movement. I forgot to turn the lights down. It's too bright for me right now. All right, there we go. So we're going to start with the goblet squats. And then for our P, we're going to do push presses. So we're going to grab heavier dumbbells for this. So if we can, grab that heavier set. If you only have one set, not a problem. But for a push press, we're going to slightly bend at the knees, pressing the weight overhead. So that's where if we grab a heavier weight, we'll be able to really use those legs, keeping those elbows slightly out in front. So that's the P. And then we're going to do some lateral raises. So this is where we're doing back-to-back shoulders. So this one, I'm going to grab my lighter dumbbell for. Again, if you only have one set, not a problem. Keeping those hands outside of our legs. Drive the elbows towards the ceiling like we're breaking the glass. Palms facing out, pinkies up. Using those shoulders. So that's going to be our L. And then for the next movement, we're going to alternate. For our A, we're going to alternate with curtsy lunges. So we're going to step back, diagonal, keeping those hips forward, push the ground away. So again, if you have a heavier and a lighter set, we want to grab the heavier dumbbells for these ones, keeping that chest forward, weight in the front foot. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and do some dumbbell snatches. So we're going to have the dumbbell in between our feet. I like to line it up with the arch of the foot. We're going to squat down, get that butt down as low as we can, drive the elbow up like we're breaking glass here. So elbow up and then the hand follows up. So alternating our sides there for our second S. And then finally, we're going to end with a half kneeling overhead press. So we have lots of shoulders today, but this one we're going to do 2 arms here. So you can choose whichever knee on the ground, whichever foot feels good for you. You can always switch it up, whatever, and like find the one that really feels good. But then we're in that half kneeling position. We're keeping that core engaged, pressing overhead. So that's where, again, if we have 2 sets of dumbbells towards the end, it's a lot of shoulders today. So you can always grab that second set. But that is going to be what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm up, and we're going to go ahead and be in a half kneeling position. We're going to open up our hips a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit of hip flexor, hamstring. We're going to do 2 on each side. So we're going to squeeze the glute, keep that core engaged, and push those hips forward. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, rock the hips back, toes to the ceiling, chest towards the knee. Breathing into the tight areas. We're going to take a big deep breath. And exhale, coming back forward to our hip flexor stretch. So we're going to do this one more on this side. So squeeze that glute, keep that core engaged, push those hips forward. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, rock the hips back, toes to the ceiling, chest towards the knee. Opening up our hamstrings here, nice big deep breath. And we're going to go ahead and exhale and come out of that. Then we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So opposite knee on the ground, opposite foot on the ground. And we're going to go ahead and do that same checklist here. So butt to belly button, keep that core tight, squeeze the glute, and push those hips forward. Breathe into the belly, nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, rock the hips back, chest towards the knee, toes to the ceiling. Again, breathe into that tight areas here, big deep breath. And exhaling, coming back forward. So squeeze the glute and push those hips forward. Stay nice and tall through our torso. Nice big deep belly breath. And exhaling, rocking the hips back, toes to the ceiling, chest towards the knee. Nice big deep breath. And we're gonna go ahead and exhale and come out of that. And then the easiest way I like to put my hands on the ground, because we're gonna be on our hands and our knees next. So that's the easiest way to kind of get out of that. And we're gonna do a little bit of reach throughs here, opening up our spine and also warming up our back and our shoulders. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna inhale, reach through in between our opposite arm, opposite leg. And exhale, opening up towards the ceiling. Looking at our hand the whole time, inhaling, reaching through. Exhaling, opening up. And last one, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. Then we can go ahead and plant that hand back up underneath the shoulder. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna inhale, reach through, watch that hand. And exhale, opening up. And we're gonna reach through. And opening up. And last one, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. And we can go ahead and bring that hand back up underneath the shoulder. And then we're gonna go ahead and do one more quick thing to really warm up our shoulders here. We're gonna do some plank to pike real quick. So go ahead, tuck those toes, push our hips up into that plank position. We're gonna exhale, come up and back to plank and coming up and back down. And last one, coming up. And then we'll go ahead and walk our hands towards our feet. And when we're ready, go ahead and return to a standing position. And we are ready to rock and roll. So 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest / transition time. We're going to start with our goblet squat. So getting your weight ready, get the timer going here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're starting off 3 seconds down. Weight underneath our chin, toes pointed forward, feet hip width apart. Core is engaged. We're bringing our core together, butt to belly button, all of that, checking off all of our checklists here. We're coming down 1, 2, 3, and then push through the ground, heel, big toe, little toe. Making sure we're staying nice and tall through that chest. Wear your logo proud. Going down nice and slow, knee tracking right over the second toe. Really drive those heels through the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have push presses. So grabbing our other dumbbell here again, if we can, grab heavier weights here. We're gonna use the legs very slightly here. 3, 2, 1. And if you do have heavier dumbbells, it is always good to kind of help kick them up. So use those knees, keeping our wrists straight, elbows slightly in front. I also like to imagine that we're here coming up overhead. I like to poke my head through. You don't have to do that, but really being mindful as well of our back. So at the top, you notice right now, my glutes are slightly engaged, my core is engaged, I'm nice and flat. If you're feeling yourself starting to arch as you come overhead, first off, drop the weight. 3, 2, 1. But the second thing is that's definitely a sign of overhead mobility. So let me know if that's happening and we could kind of work through that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grab our lighter dumbbells. If we have them, we're doing our lateral raises. 3, 2, 1. So hands staying outside of the legs, driving up. We're going to parallel here, keeping our hands slightly in front. Pinkies towards the ceiling. We're leading with the elbow. So again, we act like we have a plane of glass, reaching out from wall to wall here. We want to break that glass with our elbows. So that elbow drive is what's going to help us engage our side delts here. So the side part of the shoulder. So if you ever see someone, you're like, wow, they must work out because I can see that shoulder pop. This is the movement that helps with that. 3, 2, 1, which is great because it's summertime now. We want to work on them delts there. All right, we're getting some curtsy lunges going. We're going to alternate here. So grabbing our heavier dumbbells. We're getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So our back leg is going back and diagonal. Our hips are facing forward. So when you step back, if your hips are also at a diagonal, actively keep your core tight. Turn to the front, coming down, knee over the second toe, chest over the arch of our front foot, driving through that front heel. So if you are stepping back really far like that, you're going to feel that in your back leg. So we want to keep our Goldilocks distance, pushing through that front heel. Chest is forward. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, alternating, we're going to do our dumbbell snatches. So you can grab whichever weight feels good for you for this one. But again, we're driving that elbow. So that glass is here still. Break the glass and then come up. 3, 2, 1. So this one too, our core is tight, chest is open. Just like a regular squat, knee over the second toe, going down as far as we can, and then driving up. So really important here, getting that butt down as low as we can. I see when we start to get tired, trust me, I get tired too. We start to get a little bit less tight and we start to really do like a RDL. We don't want that. We want the butt down, drive through those heels, use those legs, help our arms out. 3, 2, 1. It's definitely not a movement where we have to fly through it. I mean, I feel like I do say it all the time. 40 seconds is 40 seconds, no matter how fast or slow you go. We want to have the right intent. All right, last part of round 1, half kneeling, overhead presses. 3, 2, 1. So we're doing 2 arms. I know normally, or not normally, sometimes when we do this, we do 1 arm at a time, but we're doing 2 today. Same checklist as the push press. Our core is engaged. When we come up to the top, we're being mindful of our back. We're not arching here, keeping our hips and our shoulders and our knee stacked. So that means they're all in one straight line. Exhaling, coming overhead. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome job. Round 1 is done. We're getting ready. We got round 2 coming up. So we're starting with our goblet squats. 3 seconds down. Run nice and slow. Mentally prepared. 3, 2, 1. So dumbbell right underneath the chin and knees are going to go right over the second toe, coming down nice and slow. Drive through the heel, big toe, little toe. So as we drive, even through the heels, that's going to engage our glutes. So we're going to feel this mainly in the glutes and in the quads here. Great job. Keeping, again, we want to be stacked at the top. So we're driving up, but we're not really going to overextend any of our joints. So if we do snap our knees and bring our hips forward, it's definitely going to end not so great. So keeping it nice and soft. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have push presses. And again, if you have heavier weight, great. If not, not a problem. Doing what feels good for you today with what you have. 3, 2, 1. So especially with these, we are using those heavier dumbbells, being mindful. If we are feeling like we're arching at the top, you know, we definitely need to drop that weight down initially. But we are using our legs. So driving through the heel, big toe, little toe, a slight bend in the knee. It's not a squat to press. And keeping those elbows in front. Wrists are nice and straight. We want to feel this in our shoulders. Again, we don't have to go super fast. This is not You know, a speed day, I want us to go, oh, sorry, that's 40 seconds. We're done. Take a break. Set your weights down. We're doing lateral raises next. We're grabbing the lighter dumbbells. Our pinkies are up. So we're holding the weight like this, outside of our legs. 3, 2, 1. Keeping our core engaged, drive those elbows up. Again, we want to be nice and slow and intentful with this. And sometimes I know for me, if I'm not like my right shoulder, sometimes just doesn't feel it like my left one does. And so I always make sure I engage my back. So if you squeeze through the back of your armpit like you're holding a piece of paper in between your arm and your body, and then you come out, that's really going to help take our other muscles in that area that might take over. It'll take it out of the equation here and really help us focus just on the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got curtsy lunges here. Coming out next. You can choose whichever weight you'd like, but our legs have a little bit more muscle power. So I like us to go a little bit heavier for the lower body. 3, 2, 1. So again, back diagonal, making sure hips are forward, knee comes forward, our chest is forward, driving through. So being mindful of how far back we are stepping, because if we step again too far back, like right now, I only feel that in my back leg. And since I'm not fully balanced, I'm going to push off of my back leg instead of the front leg. Not what we want. We want to focus on the front leg here. So we're stepping back diagonal, not too far, keeping our weight forward, but not forward enough where we are only on the toe. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have snatches, which fully don't love that that's in there, but you know, we got to do hard things. I don't love every movement I put in a class, but we still got to do it and get better. All right. 3, 2, 1. So just like, again, a regular squat, knee over second toe, drive through the whole foot. Elbow comes first, elbow, and then we're kind of coming up. And also, really important key here, we want to keep the weight as close to our body as we can. When we come out like this and then up, that's going to hurt our shoulders. So we're down, we're coming straight up, that dumbbell staying really close as we come up and above the head. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have our half kneeling overhead presses, and then we got one round to go. Mentally preparing, like I said, lots of shoulders today. My favorite. 3, 2, 1. So picking a weight, you can do a heavier one, you can do a lighter one, depending on what you just used and how your shoulders are feeling. But we really, again, want to be really intentful, really working on our mind to muscle connection. We're not going super fast. We want to go at a nice tempo, making sure too that at the bottom our elbows are not dropping too far below the shoulders. Does help also if we exhale as we come up. The half kneeling is great to take the legs out of it. So we're just using our core and our shoulders. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last round coming on up, starting with our goblet squats. 3 seconds down. Get your weight ready. Deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. So feet hip width apart, toes forward, coming down nice and slow. Drive through the heels. So going down as low as you can. Might not look the same as me. That is okay. If you are not able to, sometimes I notice, and I know this in myself, and once I changed my foot position, my squats were much better. But if our feet are too wide, we're not going to be able to get down as low as we can. So if you see, this is as low as I can with my feet wide, but when my feet are hip width apart, I can stay nice and low. So that's why I always say hip width. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those for today. Next up, we have push presses. Grabbing our other dumbbell. I can mentally prepare. This is definitely a hard shoulder workout today. 3, 2, 1. I may or may not regret this when I go to train my shoulders tomorrow, but that's okay. And then if you did not know, now you do. We are closed tomorrow, so we will have no virtual classes. We will not be open in the fitness center. We're gonna also not have classes on Monday. So you can check out YouTube, do some recordings over the weekend, and keep up with your fitness routine that way. And then on 3, 2, 1. And then we'll pick back up as normal on Tuesday. So that is the deal for 4th of July. And then on Monday, July 11th, we'll be out on the golf course the whole day, but we will still have our classes available. 3, 2, 1. So on Monday the 11th, we'll have no fitness center hours, but we still will have our classes going on. So definitely dates to look forward to. We're exhaling, driving through the elbows. Again, engage our upper back by squeezing in between our arm and our armpit. Keep that paper from falling. Great job. Finish strong. Oh, my shoulders are definitely getting tired. This is great. Love this feeling. 3, 2, 1. All right. When we're starting to feel that engagement, that means we're doing something right. All right. Setting those dumbbells down. We're getting ready for alternating curtsy lunges. You can start with whichever foot we'd like here. All right. We're going to get ready. 3, 2, 1. So actually I'm gonna face this way. Back behind diagonal, headlights on our hips, blinding in front of you, driving through the heel, big toe, little toe. We want to feel that in the glutes when we drive up. Great job. We're also squeezing the orange between our shoulder blades to keep our chest nice and open. Great job. Definitely not a leg focused workout, but I feel like a lot of other classes are more leg focused. So that's why we did neck and shoulders today. But if you have more suggestions, 3, 2, 1. If you have more suggestions of themes, let me know. I like the water theme though. We can always keep up with that. Maybe we'll do firework or something for next week. That's a good theme. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I didn't say it. We're doing our snatches now. So coming up, driving the elbow up and back down. Getting the butt as low as we can. The legs are helping out the arms. And back down. But next week, I'll only really need it for, I guess this class we can still keep up the themes since they're not doing boot camp or exercise with exos right now. Great job. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. All right. The last movement, half kneeling overhead presses. And then we're going to cool down. We're going to be on the ground, on our sides for Pretzel. That's how we're going to cool down today. Get a little bit of everything stretched out. 3, 2, 1. So hands right above those shoulders. Using the core, keeping the core tight. You also might have realized maybe one leg worked better. I like my right knee on the ground when I do half kneeling because that's where I feel my best. But you can also switch it up, see what really works for you. Great job. We're finishing strong here. Like I said, lots of shoulders today, but we're just getting better. 3, 2, one, and that is it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And then we're going to be again on the ground on our sides for pretzel. Go ahead, pick whichever side you'd like. And we're going to go through our checklist here. So we're going to take our top leg up, over and across, knee and ankle on the ground, bottom hand on top of the knee. Our back leg is nice and straight, so straight down, not in front, straight down here. Grabbing that foot with our bottom, our top hand. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, opening up that top shoulder. We're gonna do 3 deep breaths here. So I'm gonna inhale in through the nose, into the belly, and exhale, sawing away the tension. We're gonna do 2 more breaths. And last one. And when we're finishing that exhale, we can gently release the bottom leg. And then we can go ahead and roll over and do the same thing on the other side. So top leg up, over and across, bottom hand on top of the knee, back leg nice and straight, grabbing onto our bottom foot or ankle with our top hand. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, opening up that top shoulder towards the ground. We're stretching out our bottom quad. We're relaxing into the stretch. Release that tension of all of our muscles. We're getting a good back stretch, opening up our spine, our glutes, our chest. We're doing it all. One more deep breath. After we have finished that exhale, you can gently release the bottom leg, and feel free to stay laying on the ground. But that is going to be all the time we have for today's class. So thank